try to flatten out the lower back just a bit, nothing major. And maybe a little more flex than that knee. Other than that, it's pretty good posture. I'd like to see that right V, the V on your right hand to be pointed at your right ear. But it's nothing major. So on the way back, the shaft's in a pretty good spot here, and the club face is a little shut. I'd like to see the club head to be a little more toe up. This is Nick Watney on the right. You can't really see it, but at this point he's got the toe up. He's got the toe up. Not sure why that isn't drawing. Okay, so that's going to cause some problems. That's going to cause you to take it back more on a steep plane. And the yellow lines, see how the yellow lines, your swing plane is any line parallel to those yellow lines. And right after the takeaway, you break the plane, see it's off by, what's that, like 30 degrees? Look at this guy over here, Nick. See how the shaft is it's a little blurry, but you can see it's pretty much pointed at the ball and pretty much on plane. And then when he gets to the top, now you have a wood, but he's got more flexibility. So this is an iron, but see at the top, I mean the club is just about on plane, and his first move down puts it on plane. This is going to be the first move down. Just the butt of the club is pointed at the ball. Yours gets up to the top, so you're still broken the plane. And this almost looks like it's a stiff leg at this point. Let's check something here. Your head's actually pretty good, Harvey. So here's the kiss of death from this viewing angle. When you come down early in the downswing, see, it's still not close to parallel. And if you draw a line, the shaft is pointed here. In reality, you want it at the ball. So if you don't do any correction here, you're going to stick a fork in the ground a foot behind the ball, and or you'll be pulling it left. Now watch when he starts down. Well, we've already started him, but right here, see how that club is pointed at? It's a little blurry, but trust me. So now all he has to do is drop it in this slot here. You can see the club head is well, it's a little blurry, but it comes right through that blue line. And then all he has to do is just unleash it and fire his body. Okay, so you come down and you know something's wrong. So what happens is you kind of stand up. You see your butt pulling away from that back wall. Stand up, here you are, impact or close to impact. You're like 2 or 3 inches from the back wall, and you see you're almost straight up and down. Um, Now watch this guy. When he gets impact, he still has a spine angle, and you can't see it, but anyway, as you get to impact, your hips aren't out of the way. You've kind of stood up, and it's called a lift and flip. So you haven't really cleared that left hip. See, at impact, I always maintain you can tell because you should be able to see 2 hips. You should see that left hip. So your left hip isn't getting out of the way. There's one cheek. There's the second cheek. You know, so and as he comes through, that hip stays against the back wall. See, he still has the spine angle. This is well in his follow through. And watch his foot comes out of the ground just past it. See, it's the heel's starting to raise now, and then he fires that right knee at the target. And this is what we talked about: is you come through, that right knee doesn't really fire, so that right foot at impact is about flat-footed, and then you have the action. But watch this. So this is where you're going to torque your back. Heel's on the ground, and the club is well into the pass through or follow through. You see that, Harvey? And watch his. See how he releases that right foot? And he gets into this position pretty early. This is the position where the sole is facing the guy behind you. Yeah, so we just need you to turn through more.